Everybody, and welcome back to the YouTube series where we sit at a desk with a John Deere calendar. Right here, Wednesday, January 6, 2020. Today's topic is going to be weather. John Deere did not sponsor this video. John Deere is in no way affiliated with this video. I just like John Deere. That said, we need to get into the topic. Today's topic, which is weather and agriculture. Before we do that, I want to thank you guys for watching the series up to this point. If you enjoy, stay tuned. We'll have another video tomorrow. And if you don't know much about ag, this is both a good place to be and not a good place to be, because some of these topics get incredibly complex and they do it really quickly. I have no one to hold me back at this point, so we're just talking about everything. But it's also a good place because, at least in the beginning of the videos, I'm explaining things as simple as they can be put into terms. At least I think it's as simple as we can put it into terms. Also, coming up soon, we're going to be talking about stuff like this with Pfister Farms on the next podcast. So stay tuned for that. We're still working it out. Still working out all the details on that. Let's get right into the weather and ag. You'll have to forgive the rough drawing. It was really quick. So today we're going to talk about something related to agriculture, and that is weather. Weather, put the pen down, we don't need it. Weather is everything in ag, and I want to find a good background image for this, but you're just going to have to look at my hand, making hand gestures. But weather is everything to agriculture. It defines when you're able to plant. It defines when you're able to harvest, to till. Every single thing in agriculture is based upon weather. That is why, to be a farmer, you have to understand how weather works. Now, I am not going to explain to you how weather works. That's too much. If you just watch the channel, at some point or another, we'll talk about it, and you'll just see the things that, we already know about weather. And it just, once you grow up around agriculture, you just kind of know these things. Like, if you know the signs that it's going to rain. And let's first talk about hay, because it's more obvious there. When you're talking about hay work, and I'm going to go ahead and throw the podcast in the background right now. The podcast background. I just felt like we needed something in the background besides, my hand. So when you're doing hay work, rain is key to everything. You have to cut, ted, rake, and bale, and get it dried out before it can rain again. If it rains on that hay, well, several things can happen. The hay can decrease in quality. And another thing with hay, if a hay bale is wet, it is a compressed, wet material, and that can cause heating of the bale. Eventually, that can pose a fire hazard. Now, we don't want barns catching on fire, so we can't have that. Hay has to be stored dry. It's also better for the cows when dry. It doesn't rot. It doesn't lose quality as fast when it is dry, so that always helps. Past that point, that's most of hay work. As far as row crop stuff, obviously crops have to have water to grow, so it's very important to know the weather then, and you can't have your tractor stuck in mud all the time, so you need to be able to predict the rain, the weather. You need to be able, especially with irrigation, you need to know when to turn it on, when to turn it off. That all depends on the rain. Rain is a big thing. Wind, storms is a big thing. Wind and storms can knock down grain. They can destroy yields, they can destroy years, they can destroy your entire career. So weather does play a massive role in farming. There are bad things like the storms, the derechos that hit the Midwest and Iowa, that kind of stuff this year. Absolutely destroyed corn yields. There are good things like the rain that can boost yield. So once, like we'll talk with corn in this sense, but once corn is on the ear and everything, the more and more rain you get, the better, because the more water, up to the point where you drown it out, the more water increases the test weight. Now, test weight for corn is something that you get, we have a system called grain grading. If you're in FFA and you do crops, you'll know what that is. I do crops, I'm in FFA, and I do know what grain grading is, and I can do it manually. And we do have computers and technology to do it for us now, because it is a difficult, long process. You don't want to wait at the elevator for a long time. But the idea is it will grade the grain and they base that how much they pay you by. So the higher the grade, the lower the number of the grade, the better. Number one's the best, sample grade is the worst. Anyhow, let's get back out of grain grading. Test weight is a major factor in grain grading. Test weight is a major factor in how much you get paid. The higher the test weight, the better you get paid, the better quality the grain is. There are plenty of other factors that go into that, and there will be probably a video, maybe the next video after not the next one, but the one after that will be on grain grading, because that's a very interesting topic. And we can use Purdue Extension resources for that. But so weather plays a massive role in these things. And with your nitrogen, water helps soak in. We put on things like urea, which are granules, so they're particles that are spread on top of the soil. Those will contain nitrogen, and they need plowed in or rained in. So it's best to spread right before a rain, and you can rain it in. If not, you're going to have to plow it in. That's increasing your expenses in diesel fuel, so that's more money you have to put out. So knowing the weather and being able to get along with the weather, you don't fight Mother Nature. It doesn't work. We try sometimes, but it doesn't ever turn out good. So you have to be able to work with the weather and adapt to it to make your operation work, and that's a big part of farming, as well as the financial aspect. I'm going to keep this one pretty short. This is going to be the end of it today. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment, share, like, and subscribe. The next video is going to be about employment in agriculture, and the one after that is going to be about grain grading. So we're going to talk about all these things. There's so many interesting topics, and I do truly have fun sitting here and just talking about these things. Also, what I need from you in the comments section, I'll say this in the next video as well. What I need from you guys is, what do you want to see? What do you want to know about in farming? Because I can certainly make videos tailored to what you guys want to see, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to teach you guys about farming. So if there's anything you would like to hear me talk about and explain to the best of my ability, and if I don't know, I'll look it up, or ask someone, or have someone else explain it, I want to teach you guys. The goal is to teach you guys about how ag works. That said, have a great one, and this has been Weather and Farming.